welcome to another episode of Ask Jade. So today I'm going to talk about business litigation a little bit. Common business disputes that come up. The most common, I would say, is probably breach of contract. One party fails to meet the terms of the agreement somehow, whether this is failing to pay or failing to perform, or parties disagree about what the contract says or how to interpret the terms of the contract. That's why it's important to have a well-written contract. Another common one is property or intellectual property infringements. So someone else is using your business name or something that sounds similar to your business name or something that looks similar to your business logo. That can cause issues. Employment disputes are pretty common, such as wrongful termination, wage and hour disputes, severance, misclassification, when you're really an employee, but you're being classified as an independent contractor. A lot of issues around that. Covenants not to compete. In Illinois, it was recently passed the Freedom to Work Act, which strictly regulates these type of covenants. So that's something to be aware of. And other common disputes, partnership disputes, business strategy, splitting profits, shareholder disputes, misuse of funds. That happens, unfortunately, often. Breach of fiduciary duty, just disagreements in general. So things come up. How do we avoid ending up in court all the time or just trying to resolve things? Arbitration is usually a good alternative. Binding arbitration. And this is something that you can put into agreements that you have with business partners, with anyone else that you're working with as a business. And this essentially is a paid private trial that you can have. So in other words, it's a method to resolve disputes without going to court. You are going to agree to submit this dispute that you're having to a neutral third-party arbitrator. Some advantages of this are that it is efficient, it's flexible, it's normally resolved much sooner. It may take several years to receive a trial date in court. An arbitration date can usually be obtained within a few months. It's less complicated, simplified rules of evidence, simplified rules of procedure. Litigation leads usually to filing many motions, attending court dates and hearings. Arbitration can bypass all of this. Also, another one that people like is that it's private. So court cases and filings are public information. Arbitration is private and confidential. Also, arbitration is supposed to be impartial. The parties will choose together an arbitrator. In litigation, a judge is randomly assigned. There are methods to change judges, but again, takes up time, have to file motions, etc. Arbitration is usually less expensive, and this is usually because it's resolved much quicker, so you're paying less attorney's fees. And then finality, as long as you agree to binding arbitration, there's very limited opportunities for appeal. Some disadvantages to just be aware of. Sometimes there's questionable fairness. If arbitration is mandatory and written into an agreement that you didn't draft, say, essentially you didn't really choose this option, and sometimes you might not feel like you can negotiate it. You always can, I say, but, there's different circumstances. Also, no jury. A jury is an important right that helps prevent bias and fairness. So that is just something considered depending on your position. And then sometimes it can be more expensive or on the expensive side, just depending on your arbitrator. Sometimes they have some high fees. So again, depends on the circumstance. And then they can be a little more unpredictable. They don't follow the same normal rules of procedure and evidence, which can lead to some unconventional outcomes. So a lot of different things to consider, depends on the facts. Obviously, talk to an attorney such as myself to decide what option might be best for your specific situation. So as always, feel free to reach out to Jade Carpenter at Zeidman&Carpenter. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'll see you next time.